Now for the need to know. Riverside County residents struggling to meet their mortgage obligations are invited to apply for financial help through the California Mortgage Relief Program. This program is meant to provide relief payments for homeowners who haven't recovered from economic hardships caused by the COVID-19 shutdowns. The state recently designated Mead Valley an environmental justice community due to its low income status and poor air quality. This designation requires the county to implement improvements to benefit the entire community. County Supervisor Kevin Jeffrey's office is proposing the planting of hundreds of trees, and they're looking for a local nonprofit organization to help. In a recent report by the Federal Trade Commission, it was revealed that 1 in 10 adults will become a victim of scam or fraud. SOI correspondent Roman Hill is here to tell you what you need to know about spotting a scam before falling for one.
Thanks, Mia. Scams are a real issue, but knowing how to identify them will keep you from becoming a victim. If you're looking for employment, be cautious when applying and accepting offers. Don't assume a job listing is genuine because you saw it on a legitimate job website. If you suspect something is a scam, report it to the site. Be careful of listings that claim no experience or skills are required, or if you are asked to pay upfront for materials or training. As a general rule, thoroughly research the company before applying. Phone calls are still one of the biggest avenues scammers use. In fact, in recent months, Riverside County Sheriff Department has warned residents to be aware of a scam going around in which victims are threatened with arrest if they don't send money to pay fines. Be assured that Sheriff's Department would never call asking for payment in exchange for deleting a warrant or preventing an arrest. When it comes to receiving phone calls, don't answer your phone if you don't recognize the number, and immediately block anyone that seems suspicious. If you've already answered the phone, pay attention to what's being asked of you. If anyone asks for passwords or bank details, hang up immediately. If you have any doubts at all, call the company back on their legitimate phone number. And of course, emails and text messages are another way scammers bait their victim. Don't click any links in an unsolicited email or text message. Look up the company's phone number on your own and call the company to ask if they made the request. Thoroughly examine email or web addresses. Often scammers use slight spelling differences to trick your eye and gain your trust. Be careful what you download. Never open an email attachment from someone you don't know. The FBI has already reported a growing number of COVID-19 related scams in the form of fake CDC emails and fraudulent charitable organizations. Always do your research before clicking on any links claiming to have information on the virus or donating to any charity online. Hopefully these tips will help you become more alert and take necessary precautions to ensure you don't end up a victim of fraud. Back to you, Mia.
Thanks, Roman, for that helpful advice. We all need to be extra careful these days. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, which makes it the perfect time to support those who may suffer from mental illness and their families. According to mentalhealthamerica.org, depression in our youth is on the rise, and in California, 459,000 children experienced at least one major depressive episode last year. We spoke with pediatric neuropsychologist Dr. Sarah Allen to find out what's causing depression in our kids and the best ways to help them.
There's definitely been an increase in teen depression in the last 5 to 10 years, specifically in the last couple years with the pandemic as well. But I think we were seeing an increase prior to that too, just due to the lack of coping and adaptive skills that our kids were taught. And actually, I think the pandemic really showed us the lack of skills that these kids had going into something so significant for them. We've actually seen almost a 25% increase in symptoms of anxiety and depression, as well as diagnoses of anxiety and depression, according to the research in younger kids under 11. And then we've seen even a bigger jump, almost 30% in kids ages 12 to 17.
Parents need to know that young children and teens express depression and anxiety differently.
When it comes to 2 through about 7, you're starting to think about their outbursts or their tantrums, and you can start to see if that is due to some underlying emotion. And as they get older, sometimes you start to see that more and more. Other kids might show anxiety in the form of just getting kind of mean. So they might start to fight you. They might start to yell and complain about everything around them. In the teenage years, we tend to see more withdrawal. They stop doing the things that they really like to do. They might go to the room often. Major causes of depression and stress in our kids and our teens have to do with a number of factors. One is genetic predisposition to having depression. Kids dealing with chronic illness, that can increase the likelihood of them having some mental health issues as well. Lack of coping and adaptive strategies going into stressful events can also be an issue for our kids. The way to help keep your kids' brains healthy and stress-free is to work on mental health foundations. That means doing a couple things. The first is identifying emotions, and not just simple emotions. And sometimes we have multiple emotions at one time, and that's okay. The second one is identifying emotion management techniques. So this could be breathing, this could be journaling, this could be exercising, talking to a friend, talking to a parent, talking to a teacher. And the third is normalizing the ebb and flow of emotions. So we don't always feel good, and that is okay. And that what they feel at that particular moment may not be the way that they feel in a minute, or in 5 minutes, or in a day. Because in the way our brain works, we have to have insight in order to make change and to be able to manage anything. And then we also want to monitor them to make sure that things are not getting worse than they already are. So these are times to not let our kids be alone, to really watch and listen for the silence, and listen for anything that's happening with them, and encourage them to really start to find forms of expression to speak out loud versus keeping things inside.
Being there for our children is more important than ever, and encouraging open communication will help all of us do just that.
If you want more mental health advice from Dr. Sarah, just go to our website for links to her book, website, and podcast.